Why are you here today?
Well, we're here to protest the American use of torture as an interrogation technique in some of our prisons, and the policy of using secret prisons and creating interrogation centers like Guantanamo. And we'd like to see the whole regime stopped. The whole regime of torture and indefinite detention, which is distinctly un-American.
The president says we don't torture.
Well, that's not true. I think most people that have experienced this would tell you something else.
What about the destruction of those tapes by the CIA?
The cover-up of what the CIA does, or what the military is doing, is probably one more sign that we have a guilty conscience about what we're doing. It's probably one more reason to disbelieve the administration when they say they're not engaging in torture. They've got nothing to hide. Wouldn't destroy the tapes. And we'd like to see Guantanamo closed, and we'd like to see Abu Ghraib closed, and the other secret prisons located places where we don't know where they are. We'd like to see them closed as well. We've been demonstrating here at the Capitol building in the state of Michigan for 3 years now, 4 years, ever since the start of the Iraq War, and some of us even before September 11th. And I guess we're just going to stay here every Friday until we make some changes.
And for people who want to close Guantanamo and agree with that, what do you suggest they do?
Well, demonstrations, writing letters, visits with your representatives, contributing to organizations like ACLU and United for Peace and Freedom, United for Peace and Justice, ANSWER, other organizations, Amnesty International, joining.
I think Bob Alexander did that deliberately. The signs are all over Lansing.
Why are you here today?
I'm here today because the United States has been imprisoning many prisoners in Guantanamo illegally. And it's not fair for the United States to do this to other people from other parts of the world and not give them a fair trial. So it's why I'm here today, is because I think the United States, if they're going to arrest somebody, certainly deserves to give them a trial, let them know why they're arrested, give them an opportunity to defend themselves, and they're not doing that in Guantanamo.
So the president says that we don't torture people. What's your view on that?
I would call waterboarding torture. I would call sleep deprivation torture. I would call many of the things that they are doing in Guantanamo torture.
What do you want people to do? People who agree with this closing Guantanamo, what should they be doing to push this along?
They should be writing to their congressmen and their senators, telling them to get rid of Guantanamo and stop denying people the rights that they have, and reinstitute habeas corpus as a way of doing things with prisoners.
Why are you here today?
I'm here today for many reasons, but the major reason today is to protest. This is the 5th year that people have been illegally and against all United Nations and all agreements to treat humane treatment of prisoners for our base at Guantanamo. And the fact that we're keeping hundreds of people there for years without having them access to attorneys, they can't go to court. This is absolutely against everything this nation stands for. And the basic understanding of the Geneva Convention on treatment of prisoners is that our side treats prisoners properly, the other side treat prisoners properly. And what we're doing right now for future wars and future times when Americans are made prisoner, what happened at Abu Ghraib and at Guantanamo, this is just awful, because now all Americans are subject to this same thing, and our terrorists or people who take us prisoner will say, this is what you did to other people, we're going to do it to you. So this has got to stop immediately, and we've got to end this kind of activity by the United States government and the contractors and the CIA all around the world.
Why are you here today?
I'm here today to protest the continuation of the bases at Guantanamo and the prisoners that have been held there for years without any charges, without any right to defense, without being able to see their families. This absolutely violates our Constitution, violates habeas corpus. The 300 who were released were never charged, and we have no reason to believe that the people that are still there are guilty of anything other than perhaps they're Arab. They were in the wrong place at the wrong time. And this is un-American, and it needs to be closed down. And these people need a right to have charges brought against them, and they need to have defense.
So this is about habeas corpus.
Habeas corpus? Yes, they need to be told what they're being held for. This is a basic right. It's been part of the law since 1410 in England, and we have just eliminated it. It's one of the foundations of any system of law, that you're not held without being charged.
Well, let's talk about law, torture. George Bush says we don't torture. Do you believe that?
I absolutely do not believe that, and we have the evidence to prove otherwise. We have pictures, we have video, and we have people who will stand up and say, I was there and I saw it. And of course we torture. And when he hides behind some definition that says waterboarding isn't torture, I don't think there's a person in the world that would have that done to him that wouldn't say it's torture, or any of the other things we did. We torture, and then we lie about it.
Now, we had tapes. We had tapes at one point, but...
Well, yes, that's true. They were destroyed. Well, that in and of itself says something. If there was nothing on there that would cause people to be concerned, then they wouldn't have destroyed them. No. People who are telling the truth and people who are not doing things that are wrong don't need to burn the evidence.
So for citizens that want Guantanamo closed and habeas corpus restored, what do they need to do to get that accomplished?
They need to write their elected representatives, their senators and their congressmen. They need to call their office. They need to call weekly. They need to tell their friends to call. We need to have an uprising of American people who are incensed by this violation of human rights and violation of the Constitution. Our continuing to do this and not having the American people rise up in protest, I don't even understand. And it is just kind of saying to the rest of the world, the American people really don't care. And I don't think that is one way or any way to think we're going to create better relationships.
Thank you.
Oh, good, the black.